What's up, issue? For today's video, we're full Magearna Forms team. Now, before anyone says it, I know I can't pronounce this Pokemon's name right, so I am officially roasting myself before anyone in the comment section can even try it. Now, this form obviously is nice and aesthetics, but that's about it. The stats and anything doesn't even change at all. It still gets the ability Soul Hard as well. If you guys want to check me out on Twitch, this is where I do all my live streams and my battles and stuff. Link is in the description of the video, and I really hope you people enjoy the battle. So I've got 2 battles today. Now, the challenge here was use 2 Pokemon versus 6, right? So it was hard, right? Because obviously Magearna is a very good Pokemon, right? But it does have things that it's weak to, like fire-type moves and ground-type moves. And, you know, the opponent can Dynamax too. And it's quite a difficult challenge. So we're going to be leading off here with my more bulky Magearna. And I'm going to be leaving the Pokeball one till after that. So this was a battle against Rebel. This was just a random battle straight up here. And I'm going to tell you what the EVs I was running on my Magearna. It was a bulky one, right? Now we've got the moves for starters are Draining Kiss. We got Calm Mind. So Draining Kiss doesn't have a lot of base power, right? But with the Calm Mind, it's quite nice, does some good damage. And plus I can heal myself too, which works really, really nicely. Now, the other move I got is Stored Power and Iron Defense there. So I'm sort of like making use of all the boosts I'm giving it. And I've got Draining Kiss and I've got Stored Power. So Stored Power is going to be like really nice after you've got a lot of Iron Defenses and Calm Minds up. And, you know, maybe even a Soul Heart too, right? So we got a big lead here. This thing is actually going to be carrying both of my Pokemon really, really heavy. I guess they thought, well, this kid's only using 2 Pokemon, right? So let's take him out in like 2 hits. So I'm going to take that first one, but man, the next one is going to be a bit of a problem. So I was like, okay, is it running a physical set or is it running a special set? I don't really know, and it's kind of hard to tell judging off the damage it did to me too. I was more leaning towards a special set, but I wasn't sure at the moment. Like, I was having like, you know, big thinking here. It's not like I could swap into my other Magearna either, because my other one was like even less bulky. So I thought to run like, you know, one bulky and one more speedier offensive one, especially on a team like this, like only using 2 Pokemon. I don't know if I've actually done a team of 2 Pokemon before out of all of the theme teams. I know I've done Pokemon sweeps, right, but I essentially don't think, out of all nearly 800 theme teams, I don't think I've done one. Anyway, so I decided in the end to go for the Calm Mind here, because I thought, okay, it's probably going to be a special set. Hopefully I can, firstly it's a special, and hopefully I can, you know, bolster my special defense just enough to be able to leave this, you know, whatever fire move it's going to use against me. So we got the Max Flare again against my Magearna, and guess what, people? It's going to take me out. So that is 1 Pokemon, 1 precious Pokemon on my team down. So I've only got 1 left. Only 1 Magearna versus still 6 Pokemon. So this is hard, man. This is hard. Exactly like something else. So we've got right here, we got a very offensive set, right? We got Fluid Cannon, we got Shift Gear, Focus Miss, and Thunderbolt, right? That's the set I was running on this one. And at the moment, I was thinking, man, should I Dynamax it? I think I have to Dynamax and go for a Focus Miss to take this out, right? If I don't take it out, I mean, if I don't Dynamax, right, it's definitely going to take me out in one shot, judging on the damage that it did to me, you know, early before on that one. Now, that's all I could really think of. I was thinking I could go for a Max Guard as well. I was like, nah, let's get some damage on this one and let's take it out, because this is a very, very threatening Pokemon. And I haven't even got to, like, the other 5 Pokemon yet. So things are, you know, we're in dire straits here. So go for that big old Pokemon. Guys, look at this, right? A Pokeball comes out of the Pokeball. It looks so cool. I actually posted on my Twitter, right? I posted just in the, some of you guys might have said I'd posted just as it was inside of a ball, and I was like, guys, look, I Dynamax my repeat ball. All right, so go for that Max Knuckle there, coming off Focus Miss, and it does pretty good damage there, only just over half. If I didn't Dynamax it, you know, it would have done very underwhelming damage. That was a crit too. I was like, man. So boosting my attack, which is going to be like nothing. I guess it's only going to go towards Stored Power. And now I'm going to hit by the last Max Flare from the Colossal, and Colossal is going to be, you know, a normal non-Dynamax after that. So that's going to activate my Weakness Policy. That is my item on this one. We've got Max Speed and Max Special Attack. I've got Modest Nature on this one because we've got Shift Gear as my boosting my speed move, right? And I can also use that as Max Guard too, which is kind of nice. So I'm thinking here, I could go for a Max Guard and then try and get that Shift Gear. I really need to get Shift Gear up now. I know that I can beat Colossal easy. It's the Pokemon after I'm kind of worried about. So it's like, let's go for the Max Knuckle and get rid of this Pokemon first, because I still think it could take me out, you know, on the next shot. So Colossal is going to go down there, and we finally take 1 Pokemon. I get another boost in my attack too, which is kind of nice there too. Just boosting Stored Power up, you know, a little bit. Now we're going to get another boost in our special attack. Well, our first boost. So we got +2 in attack and +1 in special attack, right? So the next Pokemon we got is Seismitoad. So like, okay, well, Seismitoad, The only move I can pretty much take this out with confidence is Max Starfall. They probably know that I've got a very tight move too. Now, one thing I want to mention on Magearna, right? It's Steel and it's Fairy. Now, with I know, guys, mostly I do meme sets, right? But I do keep up with the meta and stuff, right? You know, in my spare time, and I don't really post it on YouTube and stuff. But usually with Magearna, you only need a Fairy or a Steel type move, right? It's mostly important to have coverage moves on it, right? Because I'd say I'd only give it a Fairy type move or a Steel type move. Because both of those moves don't have the greatest coverage in the world, in my opinion. So I just give it a Fairy type move, you know, Thunderbolt and Focus Mist. Those last two moves are very, very important, right? Anyway, so we got the Decidueye coming in here, right? And guess what? Magearna is going to be small again. It's only going to be a little Pokeball. Now I'm thinking, right, okay, this thing's probably going to be able to outspeed me, but what is it going to be able to do to me to take me out? I need to shift gear up. There's a couple of Pokemon left that I really need the shift gear to get around, and I need that extra boost in speed to get around them, and it may actually boost up the power of my, obviously my Psychic type move too. So the Decidueye's going to be going for that Spirit Shackle, and I was like, okay, I should be able to live this one here. I mean, I won't live it great, but I did just live it, which is nice. So that I can no longer escape, and now we're going to got the shift gear going. So the only thing I was worried about here was the fact that it could have Sucker Punch or Shadow Sneak. That's about it. If it didn't have one of those moves, I was right. I could fire off a Fluid Cannon, or yeah, that's basically it. I could only fire off Fluid Cannon, right? So we're going to outspeed, which is great. They're firing off that Fluid Cannon. Now, Fluid Cannon is a really, really, really powerful attack, right? The only bad side is it actually drops your special attack 2 stages after using it, and that's why I had a Weakness Policy, and Soul Heart as well actually makes up for all those boosts. So essentially, I reckon you could sweep through most of the team there before those drops actually start to affect you. Plus, if you got any boost in Dynamax, that'd be nice too. So Corviknight's coming here. This is what I mean about giving it Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is such an important move on Magearna, just for coverage reasons, right? Like this. So Corviknight's going to come in there, and Thunderbolt is going to take it out in one shot. The great thing about this at the moment, right, is that not only am I boosting my special attack with other moves apart from Fluid Cannon, you could give it Dazzling Gleam too, you definitely could, but there is a big, big power difference at the start before you start getting those boosts right. So we got Toxtricity. This is a prime example. I've got all those boosts up there. None of my moves they're all not very effective, right? So I'm going to be going for my most powerful move, which is the Fluid Cannon here. Now, I've got, at this stage, right, I've still got +3 or 4 in special attack, so it's going to be dropping really, really hard here. Now, I wasn't sure how they were building this Pokemon, whether it was like bulky or it was like, just more of a sweeping set there, but I had no choice, had to go for it, and that's going to take it out in one shot. Plus, it's going to give me a boost after that. So essentially, even if you use Fluid Cannon right, you get like 1 pack at the end of the turn from Soul Heart. So essentially, you're only losing -1. And if, like I said, if you had Weakness Pulse before that and you took opponent out with like a Thunderbolt or a Focus Mist, you can patch that up pretty quickly, right? So it doesn't affect you, in the long term of the battle. Usually I'd say this is probably best for a mid to late game sweeper, because you could be shut down maybe before you get your Soul Hearts up. Okay, so the last Pokemon here is the Rapidash, and against the Rapidash, I could just use a Fluid Cannon once again. I've got enough shift gears up because I seen that Rapidash before the Decidueye, and I was like, it's going to outspeed me. And that, my friends, is the game. We did the Magearna Pokeball sweep there after getting annihilated there at the start. Rebel, thank you for the battle, man. I hope you liked both my Magearna. It was hype. So, that was a Magearna sweep. I have done a Magearna sweep on my YouTube channel a long time ago. So if you like this Pokemon a lot, maybe you want to check that out afterwards. Just, type in the search or something like that. Or I may put it in the description of my video if I remember. Okay, next battle we got is against Premi 205. I think that's what their name was. And we got a Rockruff lead. So Rockruff can get access to Drill Run, which is quite a scary move. It can crit you as well, so if I'm setting up on my bulky one, it could be a little bit of a problem. So they're going to set up the Stealth Rocks in case I got Focus Sash. Now, this set was my bulky one, as I mentioned before. You guys didn't get to see this bulky one in action because it got, decimated by that, Colossal. Before it could really get, a lot of boost up, right? Now, I've got Iron Defense in this one. I was looking through their team, right, and I was like, man, there's a lot of physical attackers on this team, so I decided to go for the Iron Defense. Now, they're going to go for the Drill Run. They are not going to get a crit. If they do get a crit, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, because 2 crits will most definitely take me out, easy, right? And I need to get my health back with Draining Kiss. See, I mean, you could opt for a rest set. I was actually thinking of going Rest, Sleep Talk, but the funny thing is, right, it can get rest, but it can't get sleep talks. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get another way to get my health back. So that's where I, it came to the Draining Kiss thing. And this moveset can be used on a few Pokemon. It just works very, very well, right? So getting that special attack raise there on the Carmine, and I don't need a lot of Carmines because once I take one Pokemon out, the Soul Heart is sort of going to get me all the boost that I need. So Cinderace is going to come in here. I know that it's going to be G-Max, or it's going to be firing a Pyro Ball at least my way, and we're going to get another Carmine up there. So once again, like Fire-type Pokemon, Cinderace, Libero Cinderace, I got countered by this a lot of times, right? Before I could get, say I come up against it, right? It was the first Pokemon. They Pyro Ball me. It does 3/4 damage. I set Iron Defense up. It faints me. The next one comes in, it just faints me there. So it was such a big counter. So if I come across them, I will usually lose unless they miss the first time or I got a free swap at the start with the Iron Defense, right? So we got the big old G-Max Cinderace here, and I know a big Fireball is coming my way. So I figured here, if I can get a lot of Iron Defenses up here, I could even just use Draining Kiss against this thing, right? And if it did change its, typing at all, I might be able to get a neutral Draining Kiss, right? So a big Fireball is coming my way, and I take that pretty well considering, right? Coming from Cinderace, so that hits really, really hard. So go for the Draining Kiss. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but the good thing about attacking like a Pokemon like that with a lot of health, right, you get a lot back. Like, look how much I got back. So I was like, okay, I could Dynamax here, and I could go for Max Guard, right? I could definitely go for Max Guard and get rid of one turn and then attack it. I could do that. That could be a good option. Or maybe I could just keep going for Draining Kiss this turn and then Max Guard the next turn. The only problem about putting this Magearna in, Dynamax, right, is it actually works better not in non-Dynamax before its stats are boosted. So you generally want to boost its stats up like its Iron Defense and its Carmine. I mean, that could apply to any bulky, sweepy Pokemon like that. Always get their stats up first because then they won't have any way of healing, right? Like Draining Kiss. You won't be able to use Rest, Draining Kiss, that sort of thing. So go for the Dynamax this turn. I kind of had to because I wanted to get a an extra turn of Max Guard against the Cinderace. And that way, the good thing about this battle, like the last one, both players actually Dynamax G-Max really, really early, right? So we got the G-Max here on the Magearna. It's going to go for a Max Knuckle this time, turning into a Fire-type. That could have been the play there to go for Stored Power, but it was a very risky play. Now I'm thinking, should I go for a Stored Power again? Or maybe they'll go for a move and change their typing again. I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure. It was too risky to go for it in this point in the game because I've only got 2 Pokemon. So I just went for like a Fairy type move off the Draining Kiss there. So that's going to do nothing to me there. I'm taking those hits like so well, which is nice. So go for the Max Starfall. I knew that it wouldn't do much damage anyway to Cinderace, but lucky me actually got a crit there, which is kind of nice. So the next time I can definitely go for a Max Mindstorm off Stored Power, right, which is going to... Actually, Stored Power is probably going to do more damage at this point than, the actual, Dynamax move. So we got a little bit of mist on the field there, and Dynamax, or G-Max, is over for the Cinderace. So Cinderace has to go for Pyro Ball. That Pyro Ball can miss as well, and I was hoping I could get maybe like another miss there. So here I was thinking, should I go for a Max Guard or should I just go for a Max Mindstorm to get rid of this Cinderace? I didn't really want to get critted by a Pyro Ball, so I was like, let's get rid of this Pokemon. So that does no damage once again, and I took it like obviously a lot better than the Dynamax too. So Cinderace is going to be going down, and that is my first Pokemon I took down. Now there's a Rockruff left. I wasn't too worried about Rockruff. The only thing was maybe Drill Run. That was about it. Now, there was one other Pokemon on their team, especially one that I was a little I was really, really worried about. I'm going to have a drink, guys. I need to get my my Soul Heart worked up here. Okay, so we got the Zacian coming in. This is the Pokemon I was worried about, right? Because it has access to, Behemoth Blade, Sword Dance, Secret Sword, all those sort of moves, right, that could definitely hurt my bulky build here. And it's just got a lot of attack. It swapped in and got +1 already. So I've got a lot of Iron Defenses up. So I thought to get some maybe Draining Kiss damage against this, if all else failed. So it's going to go for the Behemoth Blade. It doesn't do that much damage. So I was like, damn, I took that really, really well. So now go for Draining Kiss on the Zacian here. Now, I knew it wouldn't do lots of damage, but it still did pretty good, right? And I still got a decent amount of health back. So I pretty much got all the health back that it did to me. So I was like, I'm really proud of that, right? So now they're going to go for Sword Dance. So like, oh, man, this is not good, right? Because the next hit's going to hit me really, really hard. Now, go for Draining Kiss here again on the Zacian. and that does pretty good damage. It's about a 5-hit KO when you look at things. I pretty much needed a crit to turn it into a 4-hit KO, but I did get a lot of my health back. They're going to go for a third sword dance. So at the moment now, they have got plus, I think that they're almost at plus max in attack now. So go for that Draining Kiss here once again on the Zacian. And that was a critical hit there, turning into a 4-hit KO. And also giving me a lot more health back. So I was like, okay, I should be able to live this attack now coming from Behemoth Blade, and I should be able to take it out with a Draining Kiss, right? So we're in a really, really good position. Now, if Zacian does take me out, I'm done. There's no way I can, live the next attack on my Magearna. I won't be able to outspeed it, so I've got to be able to live this one. And Magearna absolutely eats that. Look how well it tanked that. And now I can go for a Draining Kiss and take out the Zacian there, which is really, really good. And plus now I'm going to get another Soul Heart too, so I don't really even need to go for Calm Mind. So once you get a couple of KOs, right, Soul Heart will boost up for you. So a lot of the time you might want to Iron Defense early on, right? Because if you take a few Pokemon out, that'll get rid of people just stalling you out and stuff like that. But I mean, if you do have a really powerful special Pokemon, sure, go for some Calm Minds. Okay, so we got the Zeraora coming in here. It's not the shiny one, unfortunately. It's going to go for a knockoff. Not that it's going to do any damage to me, but it's a good play getting rid of my big root there. And that's going to actually enable me to get less health back from the Draining Kiss. But the problem for them is I've actually got a lot of boost up already, so it is doing a lot of damage. And, once I do a lot of damage, I'm getting a lot of health back, right? So their best move here was the Fire Punch, and Fire Punch is going to do absolute donkeys. Going for another Draining Kiss, and Zeraora is going to go down. So that was pretty good there. I was like, okay, I'm very, very well set up on my bulky one this time. So it was sort of like with this team, since I had 2 Pokemon, I had to have both of them had the capacity to take out all 6 Pokemon. Like, they had to have that chance. I couldn't just have a Stally one, then an offensive one, right? Because there was too much sort of stress on one Pokemon to reform. But if I did 2 really good sets, then, I could sort of even it out if one went wrong. So now we got the Lycanroc going for the drill run, hoping for that crit there. I do not want a crit from that thing, because it's going to take me out in 2 shots. Go for that Draining Kiss on the Lycanroc, and Lycanroc has a Focus Sash. I'm like, I thought it might have a Focus Sash, so now it's got another bite at the cherry to try and crit me. I know that I can live 1 crit from this, so I'm not too worried now. And also, it has a little bit of a dodgy accuracy. I don't know, every time I use not Draining Kiss, Drill Run, it always missed. They went for an Iron Tail and dropped my defense. I was like, man, that was actually really, really lucky. That was only a tiny percent, 10% chance to actually drop my defense too. So Lycanroc's got to go down. They are in dire straits now. Their Pokemon cannot do very much damage to me at all. So they got 2 more Pokemon to go. One, I didn't really know what it was going to do to me, and the other was like, I'm pretty sure I can easily, take that Pokemon out. So we got Silvally here. Now, I'm not sure what this Silvally could have. It's Silvally Psychic, I believe. I believe I'm right there. And a lot of them all look the same. And now it's going to go for Surf. So Surf's probably going to do more damage to me because it's a special move, because I haven't boosted my special defense as much, but it still does very, very little damage there. It's not stab or anything. So go for the Draining Kiss, and Silvally tanks. I'm like, man, that must, I did some damage calcs after, right? That must have been max health, max special defense, and with Assault Vest. That's some crazy bolt there with the Silvally. So it's going to be a mix set there, and it's going to go for Shadow Claw. Shadow Claw's not going to crit and do nothing at all, and Silvally is going to be going down. Once again, I'm basically back to full health there again after the Draining Kiss. So they've only got 1 more Pokemon left now, and that is Urshifu. Now, Urshifu, you're probably thinking, okay, this could have come in a lot earlier, right? But Urshifu is dead weak to Fairy-type moves, right? So they pretty much couldn't swap this in, really, really early. So they're going to go for, this is obviously the Water and Dark-type one. It does pretty good damage there with the crits, but it needed to hit me, almost 3 times to take me out. And I could easily go for an unboosted Draining Kiss and essentially just keep getting the damage back from that. And that pretty much is the game, people. Hope you enjoyed both these battles. I got a Magearna sweep with both sets, and it was a good team. There was a good amount of challenge to it as well, 2 versus 6. Maybe if you like a challenge like this next time, let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys on stream if you're going to come a little bit later, and I got a bonus battle, so I'll catch you next time. Peace.